Hello and welcome to English with Jimmy. And today we are going to talk about modals or modal verbs. Okay, modal verbs are special verbs. Okay, they're different from normal verbs. They follow a main verb, so they're like a helping verb or auxiliary verb. Okay, and they are used to express certainty or possibility or willingness or obligation or necessity or ability and sometimes hypothetical situations. Okay, so that's what are the modal verbs. They're very easy, they're not that difficult at all. Okay, as you're going to see now. We said that modal verbs are called auxiliary verbs or helping verbs, okay? Because they are used with another verb, a main verb, okay? To change the meaning slightly. Here's an example of a sentence. I swim every day. Okay, someone is saying a fact. He swims every day. I can swim every day. That is a possibility. He's saying that he can do it. He can swim every day. He's not saying a fact here. So adding can, okay, it as a modal verbs, all right, change the meaning of the sentence slightly. Here's a list of modal verbs: can and could and may and might, okay, and shall and should and will and would and ought to and must, and some modal verbs are not used a lot, like dare, okay, you used to or need to, okay, but the majority or the most common one that we use: can and could, will and would, shall and should, and must and ought to and have to, okay, and may and might, okay. As we said, modal verbs are auxiliary verbs or helping verbs, and they are used with a main verb. So the format for using modal verbs will be a subject plus a modal verb plus a main verb plus the object. So I can eat a whole burger. Okay, I is a subject, can is a modal verb, and eat is the main verb, and a whole burger is, or the burger is the object. You got that? So that is the basic format for the modal verbs. For questions, we can say, can you eat an entire burger or a whole burger? We started with the modal verb and then the subject, you, and then the main verb, okay, eat, and then the object, which is a burger. So that's how we use the format in questions, okay? Okay, let's start with can. Okay, can is used to express permission, possibility, ability, or capacity, or doubt, or astonishment, okay, and polite request. I can play basketball, that's ability. Can I go out tomorrow? That's permission. Can I go to the mall? Another permission. Anyone can be the culprit is a possibility. Can be the criminal or the thief or whatever. She can stay awake for 2 days. That's ability or capacity. Now, could, we move on from can to could, okay, which is the past, is used to express ability, capacity in the past, or polite request or possibility under certain circumstances. Example will show it all. Here's the example. She could run very fast in her youth. That's ability or capacity in the past, okay? Could you help her? That's a polite request. If you had money, you could have bought a new car. That's possibility under certain conditions, okay? That's how we can use could, okay? Good. May is used to express possibility, permission, wish, faith, hope, or purpose, or prohibition. Sometimes you may not do something in a negative. and supposition with doubt. Okay, let's see some examples for that. It may snow tomorrow. That's a possibility. May I go to the laboratory? That's permission. It may rain in the evening. Possibility. May I leave now, sir? Permission again. Okay. May God always be with her. That's a wish or a faith or hope. Okay. She's working hard so that she may get a promotion. That's a purpose. Okay. So all these are examples of how we use may. Might is used to express less possibility, permission, or a guess. Okay, here's an example. It might snow tonight. Less possibility. That's right. It might not snow tonight. Okay. Might I go? Might I go to get the books? That's permission. That might be the new secretary. That's a guess. It might snow tomorrow. That's a possibility again. So that's how we use might. Must is used to express obligation, duty, necessity, compulsion, prohibition, emphatic advice, determination, assumption, conclusion, interference, certainty, strong probability, and logical conclusion. It's a lot of it in a nutshell. It's obligatory. It's like giving an order. You must obey the law. Okay, it's as simple as that. Examples here. There's loads of examples here. Okay, he must be her father. That's almost certainty. Okay, that's certain. You must work today. That's an order. Okay. My keys must be in the flat. That's a strong probability. Okay. Must be. Okay, so, okay. The students must obey their teacher, duty. You must not steal, another duty. You must follow the orders of your manager, obligation. I must be at work on time, necessity. You must do as I say, compulsion. You must not smoke in public, prohibition. Okay, you're prohibited to do that actually in restaurants and in on underground and transport, public transport. You must see a doctor at once. That's emphatic advice. It's like an order almost. Okay, he must not go before she comes back. Okay, that determination. The children must be asleep at this time. Strong probability. He must be 60 years old. That's assumption. She must have gone by now. That's certainty. Okay. Moving on to shall, and shall is to express pure future, with the first person. Okay. As a subject. Okay. As a subject, and to ask for advice, suggestions, requests, and express command sometimes, threat, warning, promise, assurance, determination, intention, and supposition. Okay, all that can happen in it's very difficult to remember all these guys, but these are like you get them from the meaning of the sentence. Here's an example. You shall pay on Monday. That's pure future. Shall I give you a hand? That's an offer. They shall go to London tomorrow. Pure future. I shall teach you to drive. Pure future. Shall I buy you a sandwich? That's a request or an offer, actually. It's not a request, it's an offer. Shall I buy you a sandwich? Shall I close the window? Suggestion. Shall we go to the cinema tomorrow? Another suggestion, okay. You shall get a prize for your success. That's a promise or assurance. You shall go to bed. That's a command, okay. And they shall win the cup. That's a determination. Okay, that's how we use shall. And as you can see, the format's still the same, okay? Still the same when it is starting with a subject, or if it's a question and you start with the modal verb. Should is used to express duty or obligation, advisability or desirability, and to express logical interference, supposition, assumption, possibility, or probability, and to express a purpose after lest. we change it as lest. Okay. Here is some examples. We should go to work every day. That's a duty. You should not be late for school. That's an obligation or desirability. You should eat vegetables more often. Advisability. He should be in London by now. Possibility. If she should see me here, she will be happy. That's probable condition. Leave on time lest you should miss the plane. Okay, should after lest. We used it with lest. Lest, guys, here means otherwise. Otherwise. So leave on time. Otherwise, you will miss the plane. Okay. Here we go. Lest means otherwise. Okay. Good. We use will to talk or to tell about the future. Willingness, intention, promise, determination. Okay. Characteristic, habit, assumption, invitation, request, insistence. Okay. Wish, desire, confidence. Okay. In the future. I will give her a present. That's a promise or intention. Okay. I have invited her, but she will not come. That's an informing someone. Okay, she will not come. Information. You will recover from your heart attack. That's the future. Talking about the future. Prediction. The officer will hoist the flag. A future. About an action that will happen in the future. I will see you again. That's a promise. I will need your support. That's a request. Okay. She will achieve her goal. That's determination. The soldier will usually obey, okay, his officer. That's characteristic or habits, okay. She will be here any minute now. That's an assumption, okay, or prediction, okay. Yes. Will you join her? Request. She will not listen to her teacher's advice. That's insistence. So she's insisting on not listening, okay? Or description, actually. All right, so that's about will. Moving on to would, expresses past habits, polite request, wish, preference, or an imaginary condition. Here are some examples. I would play rugby when I was a kid. That's a past habit. You're talking about the past. How about going to the club tonight? It would be fun, actually. That's, excuse me, a minute. It would be fun. That's a request or suggestion. Or how about going to the club tonight? It would be fun, okay? We are going to the market. Would you like to join us? That's a polite request. And yes, I would. That's a polite answer. She would wake up early to go to school. That's a past habit. Mom would always make me an apple pie. Past habit. Would you get me a glass of milk, please? That's a polite request. I would like to see the manager. Polite request. I wish she would be here. That's a wish. I would rather eat at home than outside. That's a preference. I would buy a new car if I won the lottery. That's a wish again, okay? And you can see the format: subject, okay, modal verb and main verb, and then object. Ought to is used to express obligation or duty or to give advice or strict recommendation. Here are some examples. I ought not to go out tomorrow. That is an obligation or something, okay? He shouldn't go out tomorrow. You oughtn't tell fibs, okay? That's ethics, okay? Like you shouldn't lie. I ought to study my lessons, obligation or duty again, okay? You ought not to cheat other people. That's a duty. You ought not to cheat other people. That is a duty again, okay? You ought to practice for 4 hours a day if you want to win the gold medal. That's also an advice or a strict recommendation. Yeah. Still the same format, okay? Subject, modal verb, main verb, and object. Sometimes you get time expression like tomorrow or something like that. Moving on to have to, and have to is used exactly like must, okay? But must, if must is 100%, have to is 90%, okay? So must is much more stronger than have to. To give advice or recommend something or to show force circumstances, okay? Or unwillingness, like you don't want to do something, but you have to do it. They have to wait, obligatory. I have to be there by 12:30 p.m. That's like a must, okay? You have to start driving soon. That's advice, okay? That's all about have to. Talking about need, we it shows necessity or unnecessity, okay? So I need to talk to him. That's necessity. It's necessary I talk to him. You needn't buy a present for her that you shouldn't do it. It's unnecessarily, okay? You need not worry about traveling. Also, not you shouldn't. That means should. Nothing to do with necessity here. It's just you shouldn't worry. And need I talk to him? That's like a question, asking a question. Okay. Yes, it's a question about necessity. That's about need. Okay. Well, one more. We will just talk about the modal verbs in a different way. Okay. Like if we want to talk about likelihood, which modals we use? Likelihood use should and must. Okay. Must is 100% and should is like there's a choice there. You can do it or you can't do it. Okay. For probability. So his parents must be so proud. So they definitely 100% proud. My babysitter should be asleep by now. So that is likelihood. Okay. For possibility, we use modal could and may and might. Okay. Judging by the cloud, it might rain tonight. That's a possibility. He may become the youngest tennis player ever. That's also a possibility. Okay. For ability, we use can. He can speak four languages. Okay, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. That's a famous idiom, actually. Okay, right. So that's to show ability. Asking for permission, you can use can and may and could. Okay, may I leave early tonight? That's okay for asking for permission. Very polite way. Could I join you? That's also asking for permission. Okay, can, may, and could. For request, you can use will or would and can and could. And would and could is more polite. Would you get that tin off the top shelf, please? That's to be would you. Would you is more polite, okay? Than will. Will you turn the TV off? That is a request, okay? But to be more polite, use would and use could to be more polite. Suggestion or advice, you can use should. You should try sushi. Okay, it's like a suggestion. But that girl should study more. That's an advice. Okay. For command, we use must and have to and need to, but must is 100%, have to is 90%, and need to is like 80%. Okay. You must wash your hands before eating. You need to be at work before 7 a.m., but must is stronger than need to. Okay. Good. That's for command. For obligation or necessity, we use must and have to, obligation, okay, or need to as well. Here are some examples, okay. We have to wait for the manager to arrive before we open. That's like 90%, okay, not a must. She doesn't need to come if she doesn't want to, okay. That's also something to do with necessity or obligation, that she's got this flexibility here, guys, okay. Even if we are saying it's obligatory, but must is obligatory, have to is obligatory but 90%, need to is obligatory 80%, okay. For habit, talking about a habit, we use will and would, okay. When I was a baby, I would fall asleep with music, okay. I will arrive to work on time and leave on time. I will arrive on time and leave on time. That's for habit. But will here you're talking about a habit that you are going to do in the future, but would is in the past, okay? In the past. Because video times is limited, now we're going to talk about the final thing is about the tenses of the modal verbs. They can be used with present simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous, past simple, past perfect continuous, and in the future as well. Present simple, I can eat a whole burger, can eat a whole burger. We said it before, we got the subject and modal verb can, and the main verb eat and a whole burger, that's the object. For present continuous, we used verb to be here, like I should be leaving now, okay? Should, a modal verb subject, is I, and then modal verb should, and then be, verb to be, and then leaving, okay? That's the verb plus ing, and now is a time expression. Yes, can you see it now? Subject plus modal verb plus verb to be in the base form plus verb plus ing plus time expression. Okay, very good. Right, for the present perfect continuous, we all know perfect we use verb to have, and continuous we use verb plus ing. When we add them together, verb to be becomes been. If we add in verb to have plus past participle, and the continuous is verb to be plus verb plus ing. Add them together, you will have, and then verb to be in the past participle from the perfect will be been, and then the verb plus ing. So here's an example. Subject plus modal verb plus have been plus verb plus ing. She, subject, must, that's a modal verb. Have been, that's for the perfect, okay? And then shopping, that's a verb plus ing. And that means that the action started in the past and still continuing until now, okay? If it is past perfect continuous, the action will be had been, and it means it finished in the past. But usually with a modal verbs, okay, the modal verb, remember that, okay, modal verbs, we use we must, okay, always use have, not had, okay, have, not had. Remember that, guys. All right, okay, good. For the past tenses, okay, using the past simple and past continuous and the present perfect, okay. We know that can, the past of can is could, will is would, shall is should, may is might, but must, there's no past for must, okay. We don't have a past for must, so we use, in the past, we use had to, and we talked about that in a special video for must, okay. And we know that if we are at the present and moving to the past, we go to the present perfect and then the past simple after that, and then the past perfect. So present, and then we go to present perfect, we're going towards the past. Present perfect, and then past simple. Past simple, something happened in the past, okay? Past perfect, something happened in the past and finished in the past. Present perfect, something happened in the past and until now, okay? For the past simple, we use can and will, okay, guys, in the past, okay? Can and will. Have to and need to, you can also use them, but you change them into had to and needed to, okay? Other modal verbs, they use the perfect, the present perfect to discuss events in the past. Just discussing. We'll give example later, but let's just go to can and will. Can and will, okay. We use them in the past without using to, okay. So here's an example. I could do a somersault when I was a kid. You're talking about the past here, past simple, when I was, verb to be in the past, okay? So I could do. Could is the modal verb in the past, okay, of can, and do is a verb in infinitive. During exam season in college, I would not sleep much. So would, okay, I is the subject and would is the modal verb. okay, and then sleep is the verb in infinitive, okay? That's it. We don't use to them. We don't add to them. And here's the format will make a little bit clearer. Subject is I, and could is the past of can, okay? And then do is the verb in infinitive, okay? And then the object, somersault, and then the time expression here, when I was a kid, to tell you that it was in the past, okay? Or we can like do the opposite. Time expression in the beginning, or okay, and we're starting, and we get the subject here, subject, I would, okay, sleep, infinitive, much, okay, during exam, okay, object, okay, season, here we have also time, during, it could be the past, because it says, because using would, we're talking about the past simple. In the past continuous, okay, here we can see it can and will. So here is an example. I could be working right now, okay? So I, subject, could is a modal verb, and be is a verb, okay? And then working, verb plus ing, all right? And then right now, that's the time expression. Just if you go back to the present continuous, as we just discussed it up there, okay, you will find it's identical, okay, identical to the format that we have here. There it is, okay, I will be living now, subject, modal verb in the present, okay, be, verb to be, and then verb plus ing and time expression now, okay, I will be leaving now. Here in the past continuous, it's I could be working right now, or okay, that's just, you just change the modal verb tense from the present to the past. That's it. The format is very easy, actually. It's not that complicated. Present perfect, we know that we have in the present perfect, we have we use verb to have, okay, plus the past participle, which is have plus the past participle for present perfect, as we all know. So look at the format here. Subject, I might have gone to the party, but I forgot. Subject is I. Modal verb, okay, might, we use it in the past, okay. Have gone, have plus past participle of go, okay, go, went, gone, okay, to the party, okay, so to plus the object. So here we're talking about the past, okay, in the present continuous, but we're using might, okay, like hypothetical situation. I might have gone to the party, but I forgot. So he didn't go, but he's talking about the past, what might have happened, okay? It's hypothetical, something that could have happened in the past. For the future, we always use will, as we know, okay? Or even, okay? But sometimes we use can, sometimes we use should, okay? Like I can hang out with you tomorrow. Here we got subject, modal verb, main verb, okay? And object and time expression tomorrow. I will go to the opera next week. Again, subject, modal verb, main verb, object, and then time expression. Should I study law next year? That is, again, yes, subject plus modal verb plus main verb plus object plus time expression. It applies in the whole thing. And when we are asking a question, we start with the modal verb, as we said before, and then the subject, and then the verb, and then the object, and then the time expression next year or next week. That we're talking about the future, or tomorrow, all future expressions. That's for the future, and I think that covers most of it, actually. I think the video is quite long today. It's almost half an hour, but we covered, I think, most or all of the modals that verb or the auxiliary or helper verbs that we use with the main verb. I hope it was clear, okay? It's simple, guys, not that complicated. practice and reading a lot, okay, and practicing a lot and reading a lot and listening a lot, you will pick it up and it will stick to your mind. It will be easy to use, okay, rather than going back to the rules and trying to remember rules a lot, okay. The format, because the format is very simple, as you can see here, for most of them. So just remember how to like practice a lot, read a lot, and it will be just like naturally. You will speak it and you will write it naturally. It's not that complicated at all. That's it about modals, okay, what they are and how they change the meaning of a sentence slightly, and their types, okay, list of them, and then each one of them, auxiliary verbs and main verb used with main verbs, and here's just an example. Okay, and then we talked about each one of them, starting from can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, and ought to, and have to, and need to, and there, and so on and so on. I hope you you understood most of it, and that's it, girls and guys. I thank you.